Hi, everybody. Hi. Namaste. Right. Um, Forgive me for the quality of my video. This is the very first one I'm uploading, but I feel like it's time to actually be heard, say something. Um, Recently, actually, it's more than recently, over the last few years, I've been watching how the there've been subtle changes to what we accept and don't accept. So basically, what we choose to reject based on our conditioning. Now, there has been a lot of conditioning, and this is something, I don't think anybody can deny. We see things, from our childhoods that we would never have accepted. And now, as adults, it seems that uh, our perspectives have changed. Um, Now, a lot of that could be down to the environment that we live in, but I don't think much of it is coming from us ourselves, but more of an external conditioning. So, when I say that, I mean things that we will see on TV, things that we will hear on the radio, um, things that are being introduced to our children in schools, and then they come home and discuss with us. Things that we read, things that just appear in front of us as we're walking down the street, things on billboards, on the sides of buses. These all will have an subtle impact on the way we think. Now, I've noticed that things have been happening across the pond over in the US. Now, it only takes a short time for things from the US to suddenly land on our shores in the UK. And, very, very slowly, we have things like people trying to get us to accept transgenderism. Now, I don't know why they feel that we have to accept them when they are clearly not accepting themselves. My view on it, for those of you who want to know, who are interested in a different perspective, is that, well, actually, are these not people who have not been able to accept themselves as who they are and have changed themselves to be more acceptable to themselves, but are now forcing this acceptance on us? Us being the general public who are not transgenders. So, biological males and females. I personally think that a person who's not able to accept themselves and then make such drastic external changes in order to try to be happier in themselves, one day could potentially change the next day and the next day and the next day and demand that we just continue to accept them. Now, in doing so, what are we having to do? We are having to deny what we know and deny what we accept. And this is what is really, really, truly worrying to me, is that, there's that saying, seeing is believing. So if you see something, you believe it. Now, I mean, that argument worked to debunk God as God's existence, in that, well, you can't see God, so doesn't exist. But, you do see, a chocolate bar. This exists. So now, have we apply this in reverse now to this transgender scenario? What we are being told is, and I'm just going to use a male to female transgender. I'm not sure how they would like to be referred to or represented. I don't know. Could change. What I say today could be different tomorrow. So it's, to me, a male who has decided to transition and become a female, and would demand to use female facilities and be accepted in female spaces. So if this trans person walks into a female changing room, we would see possibly a man in women's clothes, women's makeup, possibly long hair. Yet we would be conditioned, or we are being conditioned, in order to not believe what we are seeing. Therefore, if we see this man in a dress, we are to tell ourselves we do not see a man in a dress, that is a woman. This is dangerous, and it does actually make biological women feel unsafe in those female spaces. Now, we have female spaces in order to ensure our safety as women and girls. We are built differently. We have, our frames are different, our muscle structures are different, lung capacities are different, pain thresholds. There are many, many things that differentiate males from females biologically. All of this is proven biologically. For example, if a body is found decomposed, forensics would look at their DNA and their bone structures to determine whether they were male or female, not what was in their mind at the time and how they chose to identify themselves. So, fundamentally, males and females are very different, and a male in a female space could be potentially very dangerous. More so if this male has mental health issues, which I personally believe that the entire trans idea or ideology is something that stems from mental health issues, body dysphoria, oops, cut, which has been recognized as a mental health issue, and therefore should people with mental health issues be deciding these things for themselves? It's a very tricky one. Let me know your thoughts and anything you'd like me to bring up in future videos. Anything that I have mentioned that may need clarification on. It's all my opinion. Thank you very much. See you soon. Loads and loads of love. Bye.